So you know that router your internet service provider gave you? Yeah, the one that's kind of slow, totally locked down, and basically stops you from using the internet you actually pay for? Well, today we're staging a little digital heist. We're going to break free from that ISP-issued box and swap it out for something that's truly powerful. Let's dive in. I mean, the difference here is just night and day. On one hand, you've got that standard issue box from your ISP. You know the deal. Limited features, throttled speeds, and settings you can't touch. But on the other hand, oh man, you've got a world of powerful, pro-level hardware. We're talking blazing fast performance and total, absolute control over your digital life. That is the prize we're after. All right, so here's our mission plan. Our 5-stage heist. First, we'll cover why we're even doing this. Then, we'll crack the ISP's codes. After that, we'll forge a new identity for our gear, handle a classic plot twist, and finally, we'll weigh the power versus the peril. Let's go. So really, why go through all this trouble? Honestly, it all comes down to taking back control. When you use your own gear, like the UniFi Dream Machine Pro we're looking at here, you unlock stuff your ISP would never give you. We're talking pro-level security like intrusion detection, setting up your own VPN, and just the raw performance to handle multi-gigabit speeds without even breaking a sweat. It's about making the network work for you, not the other way around. But listen, just like any good heist movie, this whole thing hinges on one critical step: reconnaissance. This quote really says it all. You have to, and I mean have to, get all the secret info from your old router before you even think about unplugging it. Seriously, one wrong move, one tiny missed detail, and the whole operation is a bust. No second chances. And that brings us to the first real phase of our operation: cracking the code. It's time to digitally interrogate the ISP's router. We're going to steal the keys to the kingdom, the secret credentials that will let our new hardware talk to their network. And as it turns out, there are exactly 3 secret codes we need. 3 keys to the kingdom. See, your ISP uses these to make sure only their approved hardware gets online. So our job? Find them and use them for ourselves. Okay, key number 1 is the GPON serial. The best way to think about this is like a digital fingerprint for your connection. It's this unique number that tells the ISP's main system, hey, this is the device at this specific house. If your new router doesn't show up with the exact same fingerprint, well, to their system, you're basically invisible. Next up, key number 2, the PLOAM password. You can think of this as the secret word that proves your fingerprint is legit. And here's where it gets kind of clever. For a lot of providers, this so-called password isn't some complex string of characters. It's just the old router's MAC address hiding in plain sight. It's just that second layer of proof they need. And our final key is what I like to call the secret handshake. Technically, these are called DHCP options 60 and 61. When your router asks for an internet address, it has to send these special codes. It's basically your new gear whispering to the ISP servers, hey, I'm cool, I'm one of yours. I'm an authorized device. If you don't do the handshake right, the servers will just ignore you. No internet for you. So here it is laid out, our heist plan. This is basically our configuration worksheet. You've got the GPON serial, our digital fingerprint, the PLOM password, our secret word, the DHCP options, our secret handshake, and one more thing, the Internet VLAN ID. Think of that as knowing the exact radio channel you need to be on. Every single one of these pieces is absolutely critical for what comes next. All right, secrets gathered. It's time for phase 3, forging a new identity. Now we take all those credentials we just liberated, and we program our powerful new hardware to perfectly impersonate the old ISP router. We're making a clone. And this whole cloning process happens in 3 main steps. First, we program what we'll call our master key. It's a special little fiber optic adapter and SFP module, and we load it up with that stolen fingerprint and secret word. And yeah, you gotta do this with a command line, so it feels a little old school. Second, we take that newly programmed master key and we plug it right into our getaway vehicle, the UDM Pro. And finally, step 3, We configure the getaway vehicle itself to do that secret handshake we talked about. Now, this next part requires a little bit of, let's call it, real-world hacking. Turns out there's a pesky firmware bug in the SFP module that can trip you up. So the workaround is to create this tiny custom config file, scfg.txt, that you manually place on the device. It's a clever little bypass that forces the right settings when it boots up, making sure our forged identity is foolproof. And success. At this point, the internet is live. We've bypassed the ISP, our new router is online, speeds are great. But wait a second, every good heist has a plot twist, right? Well, here it is. The internet works, but the TV and phone services are completely dead. Uh-oh, what happened? So the problem, it turns out, lies with our getaway vehicle. The UDM Pro is a beast, but it has this one very specific weakness. Its main internet port. It can only listen to one channel, one service at a time. But here's the catch. Your ISP is cramming everything, internet, TV, and phone, down that single fiber optic cable. And here's how they pull that off. They use different channel IDs. The technical term is VLANs, to keep the services separate. So, for example, your internet might be on channel 10, your TV on 121, and your phone on 117. We can tell the UDM Pro to listen to channel 10 for the internet, but as soon as we do that, it becomes completely deaf to all the other channels. But don't worry, the solution is actually a really elegant bit of network engineering. We bring in a man in the middle. We put a separate, smart network switch in between the fiber connection and our router. This switch is smart enough to intercept the signal and listen to all the channels at once. Then it just redirects the traffic, sending the internet out of one physical port to our router, the TV service out of another port to the TV box, and so on. Just like that, problem solved. So, there we have it. The heist is a success. We've got our powerful custom network humming along exactly the way we want it to. But now, it's time to face the music. Let's really look at the consequences and weigh the incredible payoff against the very real peril. And let's be clear, the payoff is huge. You now have total granular control over every little setting. You've unlocked professional-grade security that was impossible before. You're squeezing every last drop of performance out of your connection. And maybe best of all, you can manage the whole thing from one single beautiful interface. This really is the dream setup. But you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility. And here's the risk. This is a complex setup. It's not for the faint of heart. If something breaks at 2 a.m., you can't just call your ISP for help. Guess what? You are your own tech support now. And if your provider decides to change something on their end a year from now, your whole setup could break. And yeah, you're the one on the hook to figure out how to fix it. Which brings us to the final and most important question. The question for you. Is having this ultimate power, this absolute control over your network, is it worth the trade-off of becoming your own tech support? For some people, the answer is 1,000% yes. For others, not so much. The answer is different for everyone. But hey, at least now you know exactly what it takes to pull off the heist.